Hi there, Portland. I'm Michael Mannheimer, and I'm the Assistant Music Editor at Willamette Week. And I'm here today to introduce a music series that Willamette Week has done with two of our partners, KZME and Metro East. It's called Portland Makes Music. And since January, we've been hosting a show. It's the first Sunday of every month, and we pick two of our favorite bands, and we do an interview and a live concert with them. For March, we were lucky enough to have KZME and Metro East film the show using multiple cameras, and I'm here to present it to you today. The two bands were Pure Country Gold and Rapids, two of my favorite kind of loud, garagey local bands. This month we are fortunate to have Matt Slessler, who is a local music aficionado and a huge fan of both Rapids and Pure Country Gold, host the show. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. And thank you again, Portland, and keep making music.
Nothing like throwing my weight around when okay, I'll do the sponsorship, but I get to pick one of the shows. So what I did is I picked like my favorite band, and Rapids. This is before I had seen Rapids, but when we were sitting down, I said, I'm doing one of the shows. That's how you're going to get me to sponsor, and I'm going to take my favorite band in town right now, which is Pure Country Gold, which is playing after this. And then I said, I'm going to also take my single favorite Portland musician of all time, which is Sean Crogan. And I go, if I can get those two guys, I'll sponsor the whole thing. And I think we did it yesterday is when we found out that both bands were playing. So anyways, I have with me right now the great Sean Crogan. You may know him from Cracker Bash. You may know him from Junior High. You may know him from Mustache. You may know him from his solo stuff.
Cows.
Yeah, I mean, so many bands. Sean, I mean, you were a Gresham kid.
Well, I was a Portland kid originally.
You're a Portland kid.
Then I was a Gresham kid.
Then you were a Gresham kid. And I think you've gotten to the point, talking to you a couple times, I think you've gotten to the point now to where there might have been a time, I don't know this for sure, you may have been like, don't say I'm from Gresham. But now that's kind of a badge of honor, isn't it?
I don't know. I think I was always kind of, I was always proud of growing up where I grew up, you know.
Yeah.
It was my home. I didn't really have a choice. It's where my parents lived, and it helped form who I was, my friends there, and the things that we were into. We were a bunch of ne'er-do-wells out in the suburbs who were falling in love with punk rock, and so it was a good thing at the time.
Still is. First time you caught the bus or took the Max and came down and saw a show, how old were you?
Older than a lot of kids that do it now, but I think I was like 16 or 17. So, and I mean, the first show I saw in Portland was the Neo Boys, which I didn't take the bus. I think my guitar teacher took me to that show. And then after that, my first real Portland show was Dead Kennedys, Poison Idea, The Farts, Smegma, at Louis LaBombas, which was the last show there, which was an amazing show. I mean, yeah. That was Portland and its youth as far as the underground music scene at that time.
Do you miss that?
Of course. I mean, I miss there was definitely a sense of a community that I miss. I mean, not that it's not here now, but the city's grown a lot. It's a different place than it used to be. There's a lot more people here that actually care about the music. And back then, the music that I made, or the music that I listened to and the music that I was making, was made for underground kids who were rebels and were anti-society, and that's the thing I do miss. Is like, it was supposed to be like a fight against being Joe Normal, and it's become just another thing that's just like, you know, whatever. That's the music changes and grows and becomes integrated in society. Punk rock at that time wasn't integrated, and so I liked it for that reason. That it was like, it still was dangerous. Now you could hear punk rock on a Michelin commercial or whatever. So it was still a big. Now it's like a big.
We're going to talk about Rapids because knowing you a little bit, your heart's really into that right now.
I like them. These are good guys, man. They're closer to what I was doing, 20 years ago. It's not necessarily music-wise, but like in the attitude of it. It's like, hey, am I going to get on the radio? Am I going to be popular? Am I going to get a model girlfriend? Fuck no, but I was never going to do that anyway.
Right.
I mean, I know who I am, and this band is like, it's saying it the way it is. Like Portland used to be a dirty, grimy little shithole of a town. And somewhere along the line, someone decided that it was Disneyland. And I don't know who those land developers were, but fuck you! I bring back like, you know, the rawness of what this town had, and the whole United States. I mean, it's not just here in Portland. It's like it's cultural evolution. Things change over time, and now I'm into this band with these guys that are really, they're pure as far as what they're doing. They're not doing it for the wrong reasons.
You and I run into each other about every 3 months in a bar somewhere. That's kind of how we are. I'll run into you at Billy Ray's, and we'll have a beer and talk about music. And I may be wrong, but I got the impression, let's say, going from like 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, year and a half ago, I'm not quite, I don't know if you lost your muse, or I'm not sure, but you seemed like you weren't really into making music anymore. Is that correct, or did I read that wrong? Or you were doing art, you were doing some other stuff, but I'm not sure that it was like you were done with the game a little bit.
I mean, a little bit. I think all artists, you know, whatever they do, whether they're musicians or painters or filmmakers or whatever it might be, you go through periods in time where whatever you've done for a long time ceases to have relevance because you've done it for a long time, and it's become kind of a game. It just, you know, you play the game the way that you're supposed to play it. And so for a while, I got really bored with music. I saw it as being another stepping stone in the way that any other part of life is a stepping stone to getting to a higher place. And it's like, and that's never, the only higher place that music was supposed to take me to was a place of peace inside and peace for the people that I play it for, you know. It was never supposed to be a monetary thing. And so I did lose interest, and having people that were really passionate about it kind of rekindled that interest for me.
Well, and that's why I was so excited when you told me you were playing with these guys. You seemed really excited about it because it seemed like that you, for lack of a better term, you had gotten your mojo back as far as wanting to create and play music again.
Well, the only thing I can say is, like, you know, it's a bunch of freaks playing music for freaks. And that's what made me excited about it again, because it made me realize, like, the passion that I had about it initially, you know, and I understand that a lot has changed since when I first got into music 25 years ago, and it has to constantly evolve. It can't stay the same. It can't be, you know, the Dead Kennedys and Poison Idea and the Wipers and all the old Portland bands forever. But for me, as I watched the evolution take place, I didn't watch the passion necessarily go along with the evolution. And that might just be my own blindness. But this band for me, like, kind of gave me back my eyes again, and I saw, like, the real passion of the things that I appreciated about playing rock and roll. So,
following you through your career, starting Cracker Bash, I mean, I guess that's what people probably most know you for. Is that fair enough?
I think so, yeah.
For those who don't know,
being Elliott Smith's friend.
Yeah, the movie hype about the Northwest grunge scene. Cracker Bash is the very first band. What was your reaction? I mean, it was already kind of done by then. Were you almost seemed like the type of person that probably almost pissed you off. I don't know if it did or not. I mean, what was your first reaction when you saw yourself?
I mean, it was a big slap on the back for us. I mean, it was, especially because the music was predominantly about Seattle.
Right.
And we were a Portland band.
And you were the very first thing when you see that movie is...
Which says that Portland got it better than Seattle.
Exactly.
And I have, you know, I'll always give tons of props to Seattle, but I mean, like, the money was in Seattle. Like, they had Bruce and John to make Sub Pop happen, and that was like, that's lots of brains and lots of marketing stuff. But like, and they had good bands, but I think that we had more passionate bands in Portland that were more honest and more. It was from the gut and from the heart instead of from the pocketbook or whatever. I don't know.
So you guys, Pond Sprinkler, anybody else that you?
Oh, lots of bands. Of bands. I mean, Hitting Birth, the Hell Cows, long before I played with the Hell Cows. Calamity Jane, the Spinanes. I could go on and on and on and
Right.
on about like 90s bands that were in this town that like no one's ever heard of at all that were fantastic and did it just for the pure reason that at that time we thought that we're supposed to do it. You do it because it's what you need to do. It's not about like trying to get to someplace else. It's like it's the moment you get up on stage and you connect with your audience, and that's the only thing that matters really is connecting with the audience. And then you go back, you get up in the morning, you go to work, whether it's throwing pizzas or delivering groceries or whatever the heck it might be, It's like, it's passionate. And then that night you get drunk and you go to band practice. And you start all over again. And thank God I'm in a band where, what we do is we get drunk and we go to band practice and let our muses fly free and I don't know.
One more question about the past, and then we're
Okay.
going to get to the present. Hey, I got to pull it out of my pocket here real quick. And I'm going to embarrass you probably because I know you're a humble guy. But if I were to list my 10 favorite albums of all time, Junior High's Killer of Friendships. Look at this used, broken-ass copy. I've given it to so many of my friends. That's actually my favorite incarnation of you. I mean, that's just, that album, was it's one of my 10 favorite albums of all time.
Well, thank
just
you.
brilliant, brilliant stuff. If you play track 6 on this, by the way, about 1 minute and 12 seconds in, your life will change. I'm just going to tell you that right now.
what's track 6?
Incapable. I don't know what it is about Incapable, but every time, the whole album is brilliant. You mentioned Elliot earlier.
You could probably buy them for like $2 a piece any place in town
Well,
too. So.
listen to this. I got to tell you this. This is really funny too. I wrote this down. My friend Jerry in San Francisco was in a record store in Davis, California 2 days ago, and he knew that we were doing this, and he bought the 7-inch of Walk Like a Man, Mouthful of the Past, which Mouthful of the Past was the raw demo of Today is the Day. Mm-hmm. It even says it on it. He bought that 2 days ago in Davis, California on the 7-inch, and it went into his jukebox. And he goes, oh my God, it's right next to Peter Case in his jukebox. So,
Very nice.
So, a couple years ago, this is a Willamette Week function, and a couple years ago, Cracker Bash got together and did a couple shows. Now, you're a guy who it seems like you do something and you move on, and the stuff that you did in the past is never heard from again. But between me and Willamette Week, and we can get Trevor Solomon involved, like how much millions of dollars would it take for you to do a one-off of doing this album again? Like who do like Music Fest? Like
Dan, how much millions of dollars do we need?
okay.
$5 million and a couple drink tickets, or $5 and a couple drink tickets. I'm not sure which.
If I can handle the beer end of it,
Actually, the hard sell would be Joanna Bolmy and Janet Weiss, who are both amazing musicians and have amazing careers of their own. It would be probably fairly easy to convince me to do that because I really like that period of music. But yeah, the past is the past.
yeah, I'm not trying to drag you into it, but Jackpot Studios 1997, can you give me just a little bit of taste of what that was like to go in and do this album? Because it was a little bit of a departure from what you were doing with Cracker Bash, for sure, right?
Well, yeah, but at that time, all of us have been playing together for a long time, so it wasn't such a giant change. Yeah, we knew that we weren't going to be like Cracker Bash or
Right.
so. Actually, it was a big drag because that was kind of the falling apart of the original incarnation of the band. Everyone was kind of moving on into other things, and we kind of we recorded the album just so it wouldn't be forgotten. And unfortunately, it was just kind of like we did it and then it folded more or less. So
It does seem like by the time the album came out, you really weren't around anymore in that incarnation. Then you were on to Burnt Orange to Midnight Blue, which was your solo effort. And then here you go. So sorry, I'm just, I'm a little bit obsessive about your career.
Oh, screw my career. Rapids.
Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna get on to Rapids now. The knee-jerk thing to do to try to describe a band is you say, oh my God, they sound like this, this, and this. I have yet to be able to come up with a way, which I think is great, to describe Rapids.
Well, we've been called a metal band. We got called a garage band. We've been called a Midwest band, which means I guess that means like we like lots of Midwest bands from the '90s.
Like a riffage, and because some of the guys are from Iowa, right?
There's there's 3 members who are from Iowa. There's a couple Northwest members, myself included, Jake Baker. But yeah, so I mean, I think for a long time, because of the fact that Steve and Barry and Jared are all Iowa guys, and they all grew up in the 90s, you know, listening to lots of amazing bands that were from their own area that it influenced them. And it makes sense. And but they've lived here for over 10 years, so their influences are varied and a lot deeper than, you know, being either a touch and go cover band or a Minneapolis, you know, wannabe band or something like that.
My closest attempt was like stoner rock with Minutemen lyrics. And I didn't know. I don't even think I was close, but that's the best I could do. But it's pretty indescribable. So thank you very much. You got a new 7-inch coming out? You got a new, what do you have coming out?
We have a 7-inch that's out. It's been out since early fall. And we've been working on some recordings. We're not necessarily sure what we want to do with them. The nice thing about this is we take a lot of time with stuff instead of rushing it.
Right.
So we record something and listen to it a bunch and decide, like, you know, if we need to remix or redo. And so right now it's just like, you know, working on songs and trying to stay sober enough to play rock sets at the Someday Lounge on Sunday.
After a big wedding last night, right?
After a big wedding last night.
Yeah.
So, and trying to stand up to, you know, just to the whatever the high watermark that I set for Portland bands, just because I think that this is a really passionate city. There's lots of amazing art of all forms that come out of this place, and especially music. I mean, just because that's what I care about the most, I guess. So, yeah. I mean, that's what I want is as our band is keep on like making passionate rock with other bands that we love of all different kinds of music. Whatever.
Yeah,
let's talk more rock.
Let's rock it out. Thank you. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Matt. You're the best. You gotta be in the zone and gotta take the train. Wow, no, you're pain. Well, I know you like it the bad. You don't know that you've been down. No, the doctor might not be red. But you're the bottom who walks around. Go in. Probably grabbing the train. We're a woman. Strong as a rapper, we're not fighting to the street, to the
should be grateful that you know the girl I love. And it's true. Now they're saying that things are fading and fading away. And what we get, we will keep. We'll keep it close enough. It's yours. Just don't deserve it. The faded headlights of the west suburb. You should be grateful that the world is gone. And oh, what I cry, what I say. Everything I wanted to run away. Like you say. Put it aside, 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 put it aside. Portland, I love you. Just like a Halloween tree. And 2 more jumps. 4 feet inches. And 2 more jumps. You ready? Strictly east side. Uninvited, unwanted, unfashionable. Ugly boys, drunk, disorderly. Welcome to the party, motherfucker. Yeah, I've come from Mom Lucas's legs. And I came up nothing. And I came up. But I should have stayed at home and listened to my dad's jazz albums. Jump right up and up and up and up. Okay. Thank you for indulging this. This is another song about Portland. So keep on running. Don't you know that I'm behind you? Your hands are bloody. Well, don't you know what you gotta do? Turn out. How can he is good what he does, despite what he does? How can he is good what he does? On and on, on and on, on and on. Keep on running, on and on, on and on. Get the approach. Keep on running, on and on, on and on, on and on. Keep on going. Send it to the noise. Anyway, boy, wait, this is the comedy part of the night. Boy, what a year in economics. Woo. Hubba, hubba. Ooh, my stocks. Yeah, fuck you. What a difference! What a minute around! Don't know what talks for! She's not into it free! Talk of the portrait! Some of the enemies! Talk to the radio! The paparazzi of the day! There's only a broker. So now she's got a gun. But it's not the one she's scared of. She's scared of the battle of the road. Well, do you think, ass? Fuck you! Yeah, that's true! Thank you. This will be our last song. Thanks, man. Thanks someday. Hopefully we're not 86. If we are, well, good riddance to bad rubbish. Well, 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 well. Life out of balance, we hang by a wire, spun ourselves over a curse of a cover, the entrance to hell. Damn, 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 all the wind songs, arguments come to sound. Just arrived here. Controller, 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 controller. Precious sound of an innocent voice in clear air. Keeping the hope by weaving a rope and prayer. Still there's flowers on the soil that tear at fire. Shot weaving sails you ask how far is down. Controller, 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 controller. A needle pulling thread. I know the final sound. G, a dream of jam of bread, which will bring us back to rapids.
All right, well, I got Pure Country Gold with me the second half of this, but my God, how awesome was Rapids? Oh my God.
Awesome. Very awesome.
They just rock people's faces off. Okay, so I've got Jake and Pete from Pure Country Gold here, and I'm gonna get this out of the way